Hi, I'm Dr. Doug Weiss, and today we're going to continue our conversation about life languages. And it's been exciting to find out these different life languages. And today we're going to talk about the Shaper. And this is another important life language that might be your number one or number two language. And if it is, you're going to get some information today that can be helpful. But you also might be married to, related to, or work with someone who's a Shaper, and it might help you to appreciate them maybe more than you have in the past. So if you have yet to subscribe to our channel, please do that. And if you have a question, just go ahead and send it to us, and we'll be happy to answer it as soon as possible. So stay tuned. Welcome back. I have again today Anna Kendall. Her and her husband Fred have founded Life Languages, and Gerald Parsons, who's the CEO of Life Languages. And they've been helping me to have these conversations about life languages, which I really want you to take the assessment and figure this out for yourself, to know who you are and to be known for who you are by that person who loves you the most. So guys, we're talking about the Shaper.
Yes.
So,
The Shaper life language happens to be my first. So
oh, great. Okay.
I can relate a little bit to that. The Shaper life languages
First cognitive.
is the first cognitive language.
Okay.
And
That means they think first.
that's think first
Okay.
rather than act or feel. Very vision oriented, very global mindset, very strategic. These are the people that are planners. They want a plan for everything. They will probably have, if you asked them what their plan was, they'll give you a 1, 5, 10, or 20-year plan. They got all that mapped out. They're very organized. Everything is in its place, doing its thing. And so they are very task-oriented from the standpoint of logistics. So they can reverse engineer something very easily. It just comes natural to them. And great leaders, they're generally found in the C-suite. A lot of times they can lead, but you can lead from any language.
Yes.
That's not a prerequisite.
There are 7 leadership styles that line up with these languages.
Right, so it doesn't matter
Yes.
who you are, you can
Yeah.
lead.
You can lead,
But you'll
that's
lead
right.
from that style.
From that
Right.
style, exactly.
Exactly. And so the Shaper is a very inclusive language as well. And so they're great communicators, great leaders. They want to know if you have a plan. One of the things that can kind of create stress for them is if there's not a plan or not support for the plan. And so they need that support to see that the plan comes to fruition.
Now,
And
do
you know-
they create the plan, or does the doer create the plan?
No,
Or
the
does
Shaper
someone else?
does.
The Shaper can play. So they
Doers-
like
doers-
to create the plan.
Yes, doers have short-range plans, but Shapers have the big global 5,
Okay.
10-year plans.
So we're going to take it to this market, then this market,
Yes.
and then we're going to take over America, and then the world.
Exactly.
And here's
That's
how we're
right.
going to do it.
Exactly.
Okay.
They have all of that lined
I
out.
know those people.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
And let's say that person's married to an influencer who loves to be flexible, who loves to say, okay, let's not do that tomorrow, even though we planned it. Let's do this instead.
Oh,
it really frustrates them.
So if you're married to
Yes.
a Shaper, you probably have to get in the beginning of the vision for tomorrow.
That's right.
Okay, so what are we going to
Yes,
do tomorrow?
that's right.
And work it out before they
yes.
lock in, because if they lock in, it's like, you're changing the plan.
Exactly. Exactly. That
It's like
wasn't
you're
the plan.
insulting me, right? The plan was perfect. We were
Yes.
going to get up at 8. We were going to do this. We were going to do this. We were going to do
Yes.
that, right? And we're on vacation.
Yeah, exactly. when it's my husband's third language, but when we came home from our honeymoon, he handed me the schedule.
The schedule.
The schedule. It was like 5 o'clock in the morning. It was like, wake up, have coffee, and he had the coffee pot plugged in right there. And then it was like, have coffee, and then 5:15 we're going to have sex, and then 5:30 we're going to do calisthenics, and then 5:45 shower, then 6 o'clock cook
He's
breakfast.
military, so it's
oh
kind of
yes,
his thing.
Marine Corps high shaper. And I looked at that, and I looked at him, and I said, "You've got to be kidding!" And tossed it over and went back to sleep. He knew he had a problem then. So we've had to learn to
You were
communicate.
not only part of the plan.
Yeah.
Okay. But it's important.
Yes.
Okay, because if this is their primary language, and this is someone you want to involve in getting things done and getting, but also, if you agree to the plan with them, you kind of probably want to stick with it unless you really negotiate it.
Yes.
Yeah, and one of the ways that we coach people that are married to shapers or do business with shapers is to address them with, how do you think, what do you think of my plan? Or tell me what your thoughts are about this plan. And that resonates with them because it's obviously a cognitive language first. And then plan or planning or logistics, those are things that really resonate.
And with a mate, you could say, I know this is not what we had planned, but I just want to appeal to you that maybe we could adjust that a little bit today. And, you know, what do you think about that? And again, you're continuing to talk about thinking and planning. And if that shaper wants to really honor that mate, that shaper would say, yes, we can be flexible here today. Can't all the time, but today we could do it. Or maybe we can't today, but how about this time next week?
But now, if they're kind of unhealthy, there's probably not going to be unflexible. They are militant.
It's a control issue then.
Yeah, then it becomes about me controlling you, not about the plan.
That's right.
It's about making sure that you're getting fellowship from your as opposed to engagement.
Yes.
And if they don't feel support for the plan, then they can move into distress flares like criticize, eliminate, and take over. They can be very critical because you're not supporting the plan.
See, a shaper, let's say it's a woman and she has a high-powered job, and she kind of is up front and gets shot at a lot. You know, shapers who are leaders do get shot at. They get criticized or they whatever. And she can come home and feel like she has had a rough day. And that spouse can say, you know, I support you. I want you to know I am supportive of you. And I think the way you're thinking about these things, I think that's correct. Why don't we sit down and you explain it more to me? But I want to really be supportive and in agreement with you. And that is like, you know, Christmas bells ringing for the shaper.
And that's part of what we're trying to get done here.
Yes.
Is as we're talking about the life languages, we really want you to have a better life. Okay, we want you to have a better life at home. We want you to have a better life with your own heart. So you know that maybe trying to get everybody on the same bus isn't going to work. Okay? Just because you're a planner doesn't mean that it's all going to work out. Okay, and that's okay, but also if you're married to a planner, to celebrate them, to celebrate probably a lot of benefits you get in the relationship because of them, and moving it forward. But also, if you are in a corporation or in a church or in some kind of organization, even a nonprofit, you could understand this better, you know, and understanding who the shapers are in your organization can be really helpful because you're probably going to give them the responsibility of figuring some things out, especially the long term and logistically, and get that stuff done. So this is an important language for
incredibly important. And it's good to recognize this in your children because, you know, you see little girls who are strong shapers or strong movers, and parents tend to want to change that. It's like, don't be bossy, don't be a bully. Whereas little boys, they may not say anything about it. But if you have a little shaper girl or a little mover girl, you need to celebrate them and say, you know, how can I help my child develop in positive ways?
I did that with Hadassah because I knew she was an alpha female.
Yes.
She was born that way.
Yes.
I mean, and she can see things, and she sees macro and micro, and she has a good intelligence about all that, and she's a real strong leader.
Right.
And I've always encouraged her. That's who you are. You don't need a man. You're smart. You can be successful all by yourself. You can, you know, you got this. You know, and I think you're right that we do need to encourage both the male and female. But I think you're right because of the society. Sometimes, if God gives you a mover as a daughter, then treat her like a mover. Don't treat her like a girl.
That's right.
You know, and don't take 20 minutes to explain something. She doesn't want to hear 20 minutes. It's like, what do I need to get done to get what I want?
Right.
We'll do this. Okay, it's done.
Got it. Yes.
Right, got it. Okay, exactly. Okay, so, but I think it's really important, you know, and hopefully maybe you guys will come up with a parenting book on this, or maybe, do you have something on that?
It's in the works, yes.
And so this can help you understand your children as well. And I think it's good to be an intuitive parent. It's good if you're intuitive and intelligent. And if you can intelligently understand yourself and how you are communicating with your child, but also what they need, this might help you. And so please, you know, get this assessment tool, take the 100 questions, find this out about yourself, and then maybe you and your husband and or your wife or your spouse and your kids, and you know, figure this stuff out so that you can have the best thing and go, oh, Dad's just in his mover. That's different than Dad's being a jerk.
That's absolutely right. You don't take it personally.
Mom's being a shaper. So, either sign up for what she's doing or find something else to do really quick. Okay, because you're in the plan if you're in the room, right? And it gives you a way to language what you're experiencing without demonizing an asset.
Absolutely.
You know, I find that in corporations and in families, sometimes we demonize an asset until we need them.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, where's George? Because George can figure this out, right? You know, we don't like George, but George can figure the thing out, right?
Yeah.
And it's that kind of thing. I forget, I was watching some kind of movie where the New York ball was coming down or something like that, and they needed the one engineer in the whole world who could figure this thing out, right?
Right.
And we all want that person in our life.
Yes.
And at some point, we need each one of these persons.
That's absolutely right.
We need the influencer to feel positive and feel nurtured. We need a mover to have a vision, you know, for where we're going.
Yes.
And we need people who can plan and do these things. So, you know, if you are a shaper, you're very, very important. But again, it's this integrating that, yes, I'm important and I have value, but so does the rest of the team.
That's right. That's right.
And whether that team is family, marriage, or corporation or nonprofit, that we need each other.
Yes.
You know, there's this interdependentness that a mature person can see, as opposed to, I think, when my guess is that when someone is on the more toxic side, they think their gift is it.
That's right.
You know, I'm really open about, I need my team. I need my team. You know, and they get a lot of stuff done that I don't want to do. Okay, I don't want to keep up with, and they're gifted at it.
Yes.
You know, and they're excellent. They've helped me change the world. And I think that's the attitude. That's the heart.
It is.
You know, like, you know, it doesn't really matter what you are. I'm going to accept you as being valuable as a person.
That's right.
And then this helps me to understand your value on the team.
Yes.
Okay?
Absolutely,
so
it does.
it's very, very good. If you haven't done the assessment, the website's on the screen. Please do that, drdougweiss.com/language, so that you can get this assessment today and get started. And if you haven't subscribed, please click the button. It'll tell you when the next one of these is coming up. And also, there's a box there for questions. If you have those, please let us know. Until we see you again, have an awesome day.